Previously on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5!
I'm still not doing a bit.
Your turn, your tricks, now what will you choose?
Welcome back, my duel-tainers. Be sure to sub that like button. So let's define art. The standard definition for what constitutes as art is something that evokes an emotional reaction from its audience. That's a very broad term, but that's because many things can be art. From paintings to video games, movies to a YouTube video. Cooking, architecture, card games, animation, even sports. Many activities can be considered a work of art. Hell, there's even art made to critique art, because the goal is to get raw emotional reaction from its audience. Whether it be entertainment, joy, satisfaction, or even feeling scared, uncomfortable, angry, the emotion doesn't have to be a positive one, as long as the intent, the message of the original work produces a reaction the creator intended. Or even when they didn't, then why not? It's art. And that's where we come in, the audience, to critique and discuss it as individuals, to figure out what the meaning and intent behind the work is. And that's where media literacy comes in, a skill that sadly seems to be deteriorating every year. By us evaluating works based on our own viewpoints and perspectives, we can help educate each other on how art is perceived by others and how to properly evaluate it in the most objective way possible. Although personally I don't think humans are really capable of that, there will always be bias. If I love or hate me, my video, or the material I'm covering, there's a discussion to be had, because no matter what anyone says, it's art. It has meaning, worth, it means something to somebody. So let's be real, the worst thing you can say about a work of art isn't that it's bad, or you don't like it, because even those terms, there's a discussion to be had, like, why is it bad, why you don't like it? You clearly had some response, there's something there. You know, the worst thing you can say about any work of art is nothing. Now, when experiencing it, you felt nothing. You had no emotional reaction, no physical reaction, hell, no metaphysical reaction to the piece in front of you. And so far, I've not said that about Yu-Gi-Oh, have I? Even Arc 5, I've said there's things I like, things I don't. But you can see by the length of the videos, I had something to say at least. Not today, because Season 2, Arc 3 of Arc 5 is without a doubt one of the most boring anime arcs I have ever seen. I've watched yugioh anime with more plot and character in 12 episodes than this over 40 episode arc. Two things happen, Jack and shit. The duels are boring and have no stakes or reason to care. The characters are the most basic paint-by-numbers cliches you'd find in a kid's storybook. It does not matter who wins or loses in this tournament arc, and to top it all off, the ending to this arc is not only solved and wrapped up so quickly and forced, you'd wondered why they didn't just do that at the start and save us all the time, but by the end of it, the main characters will have accomplished nothing and are back to where they were when it started. So little happens here, you can skip it. Like, no joke, maybe you might be confused on some stuff, but you catch up pretty fast. This season, it's filler, that's all it is. I know I said there's no filler in original anime productions, but that's what it is, it's filler. I can't call it anything else. Hell, I don't even want to be that generous, at least some filler arcs can be interesting. Because of this, I'm going to be skipping a lot of this arc. There is so much useless fluff. Before we begin though, two things. I might be a little tipsy right now. I had some alcohol during dinner, and then I remembered I was recording this arc tonight, and so I had more alcohol. Obviously I'm not drunk, I wouldn't be doing this, but let's just say I definitely need more alcohol now that I'm remembering what I need to talk about. Also, I understand this video seems pretty long despite the fact that I said there's nothing to talk about. That's because I'm covering almost double the amount of episodes I normally do, so that's why. And because of that, I want to get through this fast. I don't want to be here all day, because normally a lot of cars go by my window, as I've pointed out in several videos. I'm just going to leave that in. I don't care that much about this arc. It's fine. I just want to get this done, because let me tell you, I have to pause a lot when making these videos. There were multiple times I had to do it during that intro, and I was just like, nah man, I'm not trying to be here all day. Some of you may say I'm half-assing it. Absolutely. At the beginning of this, I will have to explain some stuff so you can pay attention then, but once we get to the actual tournament, basically use this video as sleep aid, if you even stay on it that long. So with that, let's begrudgingly dig into the most boring arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Friendship Cup. Whoop-de-fucking-do. We begin with Plot Device waking up to Yugioh and finding she's in New Domino City, where they have a huge classism problem. The tops who live in luxury and literally above the poors called the commons. Yugioh is one of them and worked on his duel runner with his childhood sweetheart, Rin, until Yuri kidnapped her, and since then, Yugioh's dragon card has been teleporting him to other dimensions randomly. And he ended up at the Z dimension during the Duel Academy invasion, where he ran into Yuto, mistaking him for Yuri, and you know the rest. Then Plot Device works that hamster in a wheel called her brain, and expertly deduces, wait, 4 guys with Yuya's face all beginning with U, and a bunch of women with bracelets, same face all coming from other dimensions? Maybe they're all connected. It's a possibility. Hey, don't hurt yourself there, plot device, thinking of crazy theories. Yugioh then reveals his and Ren's goal was to win the Friendship Cup, a tournament made to help promote harmony between the tops and the commons. Here's a tip: instead of a tournament, maybe don't have your society literally be divided physically and have people's worth be based on your income and dueling skills in a card game. Just a thought. And yes, you heard me right, because the Friendship Cup is so prestigious, if a common wins, even the bougie people gotta respect it. And that's why Yugioh wants to win, because someone's proved that it's possible before, the last person to win the cup, and a reigning champion for years, a commoner who you might recognize.
Just like him. The master of faster, Jack Atlas. He was the first and only duelist from Commons to ever win the Friendship Cup.
Yep, that's real. Jack Atlas is back from 5Ds. In fact, you can probably figure out, since we have Xyz and Fusion Dimensions too, yes, other characters from Zexel and GX will make appearances in this series. You might be wondering, what the hell? But there actually is a reason. Remember back a series ago, 5Ds aired during the 10th anniversary of the anime? Well, it's been 5 years since then, and Arc 5 is airing during the 20th anniversary of the franchise as a whole, airing in 2016 when the manga debuted in 1996. And well, they did do an anniversary movie, we'll talk about that after Arc 5, but they figured, hey, we're having alternate dimensions and we're visiting old summoning mechanics, why not hit that nostalgia bone a bit more and bring back old characters? I think this is a great idea, except for all the massive problems with it. First is the variety of characters. We're only going to get 2 max per series at best. Yeah, we barely see any returning characters. I said this back when Digimon did it. If you're going to cross over your series that are not technically in the same world, go all in, it's animation. Another is, why not change the characters up, considering these are alternate reality versions? Yes, to be clear, this is not the same Jack Atlas or New Domino from 5Ds. This is an Arc 5 version of it. And despite not being the original character, he and the others we will see are basically the same version from the OG, which is fine, but why not mix it up? And it would justify adding in all the old characters too. Make Yusei the leader of Sector Security, have Trudge be evil or corrupt, make Leo and Luna actual stuck-up rich kids. Anything with Akiza. It just feels so half-assed because there's so much potential and creativity you can do with alternate reality versions of characters we know. Just read any superhero comic and you'll know what I mean. You can do some really interesting stuff, but no, instead it's just the same characters being the same character, but in Arc 5 land, which, yeah, I guess fans don't mind that if they like the character, but it's so boring and safe. And at that point, just make new characters. I mean, why not? Why do we have to bring back the old ones? Just make new original characters that I guess could be new fan favorites of people. In fact, in the Xyz dimension, when we go there, spoilers, we're gonna see new characters they make exactly for this purpose, so they could have done it anyway. Last thing is, you may have noticed, I left out a series. Yeah, the original. And despite references to other series, we're kind of missing the most important one, arguably. I mean, why not have some of them in the standard dimension? Like, I don't know, reference maybe Leo Corp worked with Kaiba Corp or Industrial Illusions or something, maybe a version of Yugi or Joey or Dueling Champions. Oh, get Granddad again. He loves guest starring in this crap. Now, yeah, they're probably not in this because of the aforementioned movie we'll talk about later, but still, you could have thrown in a reference or something. Again, it just feels half-assed. Even Zexel referenced the original sometimes. Not here. So yeah, like most anime crossovers, it seems they just did the bare minimum necessary, so you can't say they did a bad job, but I will, cause you could have done so much more with this concept of alternate versions of classic Yu-Gi-Oh characters. So I'll give you a C-. You did the assignment. Good job, you followed instructions. Anyway, what are Yugioh and Plot Device up to again? They take out a sector security jobber, okay, which is broadcast on the news by,
A report from high above Route 8. I'm Melissa Trail here with exclusive coverage of a high-speed chase.
Oh, thank God, there's still a hot older woman in this series. I was getting scared for a second. Oh, and I guess Akiza is technically in this because same voice actor. I'll take what I can get. This broadcast of essentially a police chase is authorized by the head of Sector Security. Oh my God, the obviously evil and corrupt head of the police, who is so obviously the main bad guy of this arc, is literally playing chess while he talks about his plans. How do I not have a joke about that? I mean, it's so cliche, it just kind of makes fun of itself, I guess. I don't know, I feel bad making fun of that. It just feels like bullying at this point, right? It's stupid on its own. Well, because of all that crap, Sector Security is looking for yugioh plot device, who happen to look like some other people who just arrived in town. The Lancers. We see Yuya, Selena, Silvio, and Riley arriving in the Commons. Seems like everyone was separated on the trip, and Riley's kind of freaking out since he's away from Declan. To top it off, because of their faces, Yuya and Selena are mistaken for yugioh and plot device, and Sector Security come in and try to arrest them. Seeing Riley scared and knowing it's a misunderstanding, Yuya tries to use his duel-taning to settle this. Unfortunately, he's also with Silvio and Selena, who do not help the situation with them being Silvio and Selena. Also, I noticed Sector Security, and every other character not from Standard for that matter, do not really question action duels or action cards when they're shown them for the first time. They just are like, okay, I guess this is how we're dueling now, instead of calling bullshit on this. Also, they suddenly know all the rules just by watching someone like Yuya grab an action card. They're like, oh yeah, it's just like riding a bike. Sure, whatever. That's the least of this arc's problems. During this, the definitely evil head of Sector Security sees Yuya pendulum summon and becomes intrigued. But new summoning methods don't help Yuya, because no thanks to his comrades, he's not winning over the crowd with pussy stuff like smiles, and it looks like they're about to get arrested. But, remember when I said other characters were going to appear?
Leave these people alone! They've done nothing to you, but that never matters, does it?
Yep, Crow is back, and I didn't mention it, I think, but in the last half of 5Ds, his voice actor changed, but this is his original one. I also don't remember if I said this, but I don't like Crow that much from 5Ds. He was probably one of my least favorite characters besides Leo and Luna. He was just so inconsequential there, and he's pretty much served the same purpose here, because he's the exact same character, grew up in the slums and takes care of some orphan jobbers. Who cares? More important though, that's subjective, we see Gong and Dennis ended up together at the tops, and Dennis suggests they duel-tane to draw attention to themselves so Yuya and the others will find them. Gong does not think that's a good plan and only duels Dennis because he thinks he's being a selfish pain in the ass. Gong is the only character with some sense around here. During this duel, Dennis pendulum and Xyz summons, which again is broadcast by Melissa, my wife. And after the duel, some Negro in a limo approaches the two with an offer. Meanwhile, Plot Device is trying to warn,
Listen to me! The future of your entire world is at stake! There's an interdimensional...
Must be some kind of performance art.
Then she needs better material.
so PD, let me get this straight. Your plan, right, to convince the stuck-up rich part of this world, who don't give a fuck about anything except that they're rich, that a bunch of teenagers from a boarding school about teaching you how to play a children's card game from another dimension are going to invade them and Pegasusy them, is to scream it in the middle of the street while you're a wanted fugitive. Go fuck yourself. Back to smarter characters, Dennis and Gong are taken to an underground turbo dueling ring where the reigning champ is Shay. Yeah, he's here. He's been here the whole time. Gong's upset he hasn't been out looking for them and the others, but Shay says the winner of this underground dueling ring gets a free entry into the Friendship Cup. And once he heard about Jack Atlas, he figured by proving their strength, beating him, people would be willing to join the Lancers. I mean, it's not a bad plan, I guess. Gong, of course, instead wants to find everyone first, but Dennis thinks it's a great plan and joins mainly because he wants to try turbo dueling. And is really good at it. They say there's like a training wheel program on these things, but every character from Standard is suddenly a master turbo duelist. They can just use a duel runner super easily first try. Remember Akiza needed to go through a whole school for weeks to learn to ride a duel runner? I remember that. Anyway, Dennis duels Shay, and Shay thinks there's something off about Dennis. Something about him he just doesn't like. I think he's a fucking slifer slacker. And Dennis during the duel pendulum summons, and Sector Security detects the pendulum energy, and wanting the power of these pendulum cards, they perform a raid on the duel ring, and Gong, Shay, and Dennis are arrested and sent to the facility. Yeah, that's back too. Meanwhile, Crow wants everyone with him to stay put and not alert Sector Security, but Silvio and Selena are Silvio and Selena, and they don't listen to anyone. And they go around the commons asking who the strongest duelist is here, and that's how they learn about Jack Atlas. Back at the orphanage, we meet a guy, I forgot about him, he's Crow's friend, he kind of matters later, his name's Shinji. He's also kind of like a Crow surrogate, like it could have just been him, I don't know why Crow's here, you'll see what I mean later. Seeing Riley all down, Yuya and Crow get into an argument when Yuya talks about wanting to make Riley smile, then Crow's like, man, survival is the most important thing, not duel-taning, so they decide to duel to prove who's right, who fucking cares. Silvio and Selena return, but like Dennis, when Yuya pendulum summons, Sector Security swarms them fast, arresting Yuya, Crow, Selena, Silvio, and Shinji, cause Selena sees that Riley is saved by Moonshadow. Yes, that's the blue ninja's name. I didn't reveal it, Mainly because when watching this, I didn't find out what his name was until now, because honestly, I didn't think he was going to be a major character that was going to be with the rest of the series. I was just really surprised when he showed up here and just kept showing up. I was like, oh, he's like an actual part of the main cast. That's crazy. Group being arrested realized if Moonshadow took Riley, Declan must be out there, but hasn't come for them for some reason. When they arrive at the facility, Selena is separated because evil Magnus Carlsen here has realized her and Plot Device are different people and wants to know more on why they look the same, why they look so different. I'm not going to say they look the same. But the boys do meet up with Gong and Dennis in the Slammer. Not Shay, because he was put in solitary confinement, because he acted like Shay. The group then learn they are allowed to keep their decks because there's an economy here. You can bribe the guards and other inmates with rare cards to get special perks and treatment. Only in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yuya thinks this is stupid because cards are a duelist's soul or some shit. And being the new guys, they are taken to the kingpin of this prison, Kojiro Tokomatsu, who demands they give him cards if they want a good life here. If you know what I mean. Yuya refuses this and fuck, why do I write this so weird? Yuya refuses this, and to teach him his place, Chojiro duels Yuya. Through the duel, we learn from Crow this guy used to be a hero to the commons, known as Hero Chojiro, a duelist from the commons who was the best duelist to ever throw down a face down. He was, in a way, a duel-tainer, because his archetype, the Flower Guardians, rely on drawing the right card to activate their effects, which added suspense and tension to your usual pot of greed effects. Whatever that does. But one day, a duelist from Tops obviously cheated against him, and he lost badly, and it affected him so much, Hero also decided to cheat, but was caught, and since he's not rich, he was sent here to the facility. Yes, for cheating in a children's card game, he was sent to a maximum security prison. Only in Yu-Gi-Oh! So Yu-Gi-Oh! Decides to show Hero the right way is to entertain, not stoop to the level of people who aren't real duelists like cheaters. Yeah, he duel-tains, but he also creates an infinite loop combo? Seriously, he does a motherfucking infinite.
All Yuya has to do is send Rain Goat to the graveyard and take no damage. That also allows him to bring back Teeter-Totter Hopper again.
Oh, I get it. Yuya's creating an infinite loop where he'll take no damage.
After beating him, Hero has now changed his ways because other inmates came to watch and cheer him on even though he lost, which reminded him of why he dueled. God, I really love the message of this show. Seriously, about dueling to have fun but also win, you don't have to do it for destructive reasons. They're just so fucking bad at executing it. So now that they made friends with the criminals, one of them says he's shocked Yuya was arrested and his lady friend escaped. Yuya says she was, but then realizes he must be talking about Plot Device. And the inmate says he saw Yuya putting up posters about an invasion with her. Okay, so the yelling didn't work. So to convince the people of the Synchro Dimension, you decided to put up posters like you're advertising for your fucking garage band. Fuck you! Not worried about Plot Device for some reason, Yuya wants out, and it happens Crow is planning an escape. During a prison duel tournament, okay. But Crow acts distant toward Yuya because people have tried to escape before, and whether the perpetrators escape or not, usually any friends of the inmate who instigated it get punished. And I'm gonna skip a lot of the breakout, it's not interesting. Eventually the others catch on, Gong saves Shay and Selena in solitary, and all of the main characters along with Hero escape, but not really, because the head of Sector Security knew about the whole thing and is waiting for them. And I haven't been naming him as a bit, we don't actually get his full name until now. It's
I am responsible for keeping order in this fair city. My name is Jean-Michel Roger, and I am the director of Sector Security.
I already wanted to punch him in the face for the chest thing. That name makes me want to punch him in the dick. He's about to send the guys back and take Selena, but then some guys in white show up saying all the prisoners are to be handed to the High Council, and they appear in hologram form saying this is an order. Apparently these guys are in charge, even Roger has to listen to them. So all of them are brought before this council, and Yuya, being stupid because he wants to go out and find Plot Device for some reason, lets slip that they're from another dimension. And it's revealed the High Council know this, not only about the dimensions, but also the summoning methods and Duel Academy, because they were told by Declan, who arrives with Riley and Moonshadow. Yes, he's been here the whole time, trying to parlay with the leaders of the city. While the High Council don't immediately believe the Lancers, they are wary due to the new summoning methods never seen before. So to prove they're the good guys, I guess, Declan entered all the Lancers into the Friendship Cup. Yes, by doing well in the Friendship Cup, it will prove the Lancers are worth backing in this invasion from another world, and also they have good motives, I guess. I don't know how winning the tournament does that, but whatever, I'm too drunk to care. It's also revealed Chojiro going to jail was what started the Friendship Cup. Seeing him treated so bad, a respected duelist even by the Tops, the commoners rioted, and so they formed the Sector Security here, known as Duel Chasers, but that just made things worse, so they made the Friendship Cup a tourney where anyone can win and be heralded as a hero in both factions, and the current one is Jack. While the Lancers express mixed reactions about being forced to enter this tournament, Yugioh still wants to know where plot device is. Bro, you got Selena, they're practically the same thing. One's just a bit more of a bitch. And Roger mentions she has also entered the tournament. Yes, Yugioh and plot device, while being wanted fugitives, entered a widely public tournament with their real names, but we've already established they're not smart, so you shouldn't be surprised. Roger, while upset at this, decides to use this as an opportunity, because before the tournament, Jack usually has an exhibition duel with a participant. Being the most proficient in a new summoning method, Roger suggests Yugioh duel, and the High Council approve, as this is a chance to see what the Lancers are made of. So the day of the exhibition comes, and the one good thing is Melissa commentates the whole tournament. At least there's something nice to look at. Yugioh and plot device show up to participate, and she is shook to see Yugioh here. Yugioh barely notices he looks like him. And it seems the crowd does not give a single shit about Yugioh, because they're all here, tops and commons, to see one person. That's right, the Master of Faster is back, baby.
The awesome and awe-inspiring Jack Atlas!
Who's the master of faster? Who rules the duels? That's right, it's me!
Since the Lancers are here, these duels are a mixed breed, as they combine turbo and action duels, where you basically pick up action cards like items in Mario Kart. That's it, that's the only difference. Before the duel begins though, after only taking one look at Yugioh and to egg on the crowd, Jack declares he will beat Yugioh on his second turn, the third turn of the whole duel. Yugioh does get insulted by Jack's brashness, and remembers Crow telling him to take Jack down because he betrayed the commons after becoming the dueling king. And well, I hate to tell you, Crow, none of that's gonna happen, because like Jack predicted, he very easily beats Yugioh. On his second turn, with no problems, he got destroyed, wiggity washed, with Jack telling him to get out of his arena with weak moves like that, as Yugioh passes out after falling off his runner. And then he wakes up in a swanky hotel room, and the High Council appear, telling him, yeah, you got washed, kid. But it was an exhibition, so he's still in the tournament. And while luxurious, these rooms are basically prison cells, as none of the Lancers or commoners are allowed to leave for any reason other than to duel. Yugioh is distraught over this because he wants to get out and find plot device. Also, this episode is sort of a clip show because it shows Jack and Yugioh's duel from the last episode, like almost all of it, which granted, it wasn't that long, it was only 3 turns. But man, the animators are struggling already if they gotta reuse something we just saw, and we're barely halfway through the show. Eventually, a card gets slipped under Yugioh's door, given to him by Sam. His, I'm not sure what this kid's job title is, he basically just leads Yugioh to his duels. The card is Tuning Magician, and Sam got it from Jack years ago after meeting him and sipping for him hard, telling him he's his idol and shit, and Jack gave him this card and walked off. The card is useless according to everyone in this show because it has 0 stats, and when it's summoned it gives your opponent life points and you lose life points. Also, it specifically references pendulum cards, but I assume that's not on the anime version. Anyway, Sam took this as Jack calling him a useless piece of shit by giving him a useless piece of shit card. Which, Sam, you're reading way too much into that, and also not enough into it at the same time. Because if you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! And you know the kind of character Jack Atlas is, you probably already know why he gave him a pathetic card, you might say. And Sam gave this to Yuya because he wants Yuya to beat Jack and throw this card in his face for betraying the commoners, like Crow said. He figures Yuya would probably be the best man for the job because after getting washed so easily in front of a crowd, he probably wants revenge on Jack too for humiliating him. Okay. Anyway, Melissa begins the Friendship Cup and we get the full 16 participants. Yuya, Plot Device, Yugo, Selena, Gong, Silvio, Shay, Dennis, Crow, Shinji, Shojiro, Riley, yes Riley, and the only other person that matters who we have not met, and is the obvious standout, the big nigga named Sergei Volkov. We'll learn more about him later. When the crowd see Crow and Shinji, commoners, it starts some squabbling between the tops and commons attending as they all argue Jack's loyalties, or some shit, as Jack looks on from a throne silently. Well anyway, the cup officially begins with the first match being Gong versus Crow. Alright, so I hope you guys noticed the problem with this tournament arc when I went over the participants. For those that didn't catch it, 12 of the top 16 are good guys, who all have the same goal, while Crow, Shinji, and Jojiro are different. But most of them are Lancers, or are friends with the main cast at least, so who cares who wins these duels? What does it matter? Crow versus Gong, nothing happens. And I guess the writers also figured, wait, there's no reason to root for anyone in this duel or to be sad when someone loses, so they added some stakes. Because when you lose, apparently the loser gets shipped off to work as a slave, essentially, in a waste refinery. Yes, this tournament to promote harmony and unity between the classes has the losers shipped off to work as slaves for a dump. So yeah, this is done so that you should care who loses, but we know the winner is going to be heralded as some god of card games who everyone loves, so they're just going to get all their friends out of it, and it's probably going to be Yuya. Gong loses to Crow, and I'm upset that the worst character beat the best character. I know Gong will be rescued because he's a main character. He's only going to be there for the duration of this tournament. I seriously doubt he's going to be there forever. So yeah, 75% of these matches don't matter, because especially when it's two Lancers dueling, who cares who wins? Who cares? Sorry, it's just crazy that I'm saying that out loud. It's like, did no one in the writer's room? And yes, that's why this tournament arc is so boring, because it's a tournament arc. It's mostly duels that I just established don't matter, because we're on episode 66. This arc ends on episode 99. While it's not all of it, a good chunk of these 33 episodes is this tournament of duels that don't matter. It's crazy, because even the GX tournament being equally as useless, at least the duels mattered, because if Jaden lost, the Society of Light won, and that's bad. At least you had a reason to root for the heroes. Here, Yugioh just mopes around the whole time in his hotel room, saying the same thing. Man, why can't everyone here just get along and smile? Suck my cock, Sakaki. In this arc, Yugioh has two modes. Either he's depressed because everyone's an asshole, or he's looking for plot device. What a hero. So yeah, you're not missing much, trust me. I had to watch all of this. I'm doing you a favor. And if that's not worth a like and subscribe, then support me on Patreon. Luckily, the next episode does have something to talk about. A little too much to talk about, because this next episode is all exposition while characters stand in one room. Yeah, that's the break we get from dueling. Because the next match is Shinji versus Riley, and this was just revealed to the competitors, and a lot of them, including Yugioh, don't like Declan is involving his younger brother in this especially, since he found out about the waste mine thing. Riley has his own apprehensions too, running away from Yugioh's room. When Declan comes to get him, he says Riley needs the combat experience and is the key to help them beat Duel Academy. Yugioh calls bullshit on all this because of how scared Riley is, but Declan says it's Riley's decision, so he asks him, why won't he duel? And it's not because he's scared, he doesn't want to duel Shinji specifically because he gave him treats at the orphanage. That's all, what a waste of time. So Declan says, alright, Moonshadow will duel in your place, and they all leave. That's when Declan has a flashback to him and Henrietta watching Riley in some room, and we learn Riley is not Declan's biological sibling. They found him somewhere. Really, that's the explanation. We don't know how or why they found Riley, they just picked him up off the side of the street, I guess. We just know he comes from some war-torn area, and due to the stress and trauma from that area, he has true apathy and no free will or wishes or goals. He's a blank slate. And Henrietta says Riley would make a perfect pawn they could use for their own goals. Don't remember that flashback at all. It doesn't go anywhere, and they retcon it at the end. I'm serious. Also, yes, that was the whole episode. That was an entire 22-minute episode. Fuck this show. So Moonshadow duels Shinji, and this does start something. That Shinji now having a platform riles the commons to start a rebellion. Nothing comes of it now, and even Roger doesn't take his threat of riots seriously. But Shinji does manage to beat Ninja Gaiden, so he's gonna have another duel. The High Council tell Declan, bro, all your guys have lost so far, you really legit? But remember, Declan's read the script, and Anime pushes up his glasses and says this is all according to Keikaku. Next, it's Plot Device versus Chojiro, and she says after seeing Yugioh get bodied, she's gonna duel Tane to help cheer him up. I don't care about any of you, she wins. The next duel is Selena versus one of the guys I never mentioned, so they don't matter. The show doesn't even focus on it. Instead, we see the only important guy we haven't met, Sergey, is actually working for Roger, and is using him to win not just the tournament, but to beat Jack. Because Roger is trying to run not just security, but the entire dueling world to basically have total control of New Domino. Meanwhile, Declan and Riley have dinner with the council, and Jack, where we learn this Jack's backstory, saying the one thing a duelist needs is grit. Gotta be gritty. Seems he became duel champion because as a kid on the streets one day, he found the Tuning Magician card, and it seemed to float down from the tops. And he decided to become the best duelist to return the card there. No, that's it. That's his whole backstory. That's it. There's nothing else to it. That's the entire reason he's here today. I don't know what else you want from me. Then he directly addresses Declan and Riley, saying he knows him and the others like Yugioh aren't from here and doesn't know what they want, but whatever it is, be gritty and get it done no matter what. Have some balls. Riley especially takes this to heart when Jack says he reminds him of himself when he was a kid. Anyway, the next day it's finally Yugioh's time to duel, and the crowd already don't like him, but Yugioh sees this as a chance to tell everyone what happens to the losers and the trash facility, and they're all okay with it. Not just that they're okay with it, it's already common knowledge. Even Melissa disregards Yugioh, saying that's just part of the tournament. Call me crazy, but something tells me the society isn't that great. Saddened by this, Yugioh wants to win, but not send his opponent to the trash pile. But he might not have a choice because, well, he has to win. But also, his opponent shows up. Officer 227. No, that's his actual name as a character. It's the officer Yugioh beat when he and Plot Device arrived. And Roger gave him some cards and a chance to redeem himself by beating Yugioh. But of course, protagonist, and this guy doesn't even have a name, so Yugioh wins. But is hugely discouraged, not just from the crowd's reactions to the trash pile, and him winning sending the pig there, but also that he was not able to win them over, as the officers dueling compelled them more than anything he was doing. But he lost, so now they don't care about him. I can't believe this is the arc where Yugioh finds out rich people are assholes. I could have told you that for free, bud. Next, it's Yugioh versus Silvio, and during the duel, because I guess they're in close proximity, when Yugioh summons his dragon, Yugioh seems to mind meld with him, kinda like he does with Yuto, and Yugioh wins. That's it. But this time, we follow Silvio to the trash pile and see what's going on there. And we see that Negro from before, who was not arrested during the raid because he works for Roger, giving him promising duelists from the underground and trash area who are desperate to get out and make it big, for a small price. All they have to do is give their eternal servitude to the government, specifically Roger. What a steal. And one of those duelists he sent was Sergei, who we see dueling a jobber, and that he's very aggressive, and seems to be, well, it's been a while, but yeah, he's currently being woman under Roger's complete control. He's basically a Terminator. And yes, the woman graphic did change. Thank you for noticing. Anyway, Sergei pretty much mutilates his opponent in his duel, winning. And we cut to Declan on the roof of the High Council, meeting with Moonshadow, because, you know, he's a ninja, so he's able to stealth his way out of the trash and gather intel for him. It's a secret, don't tell anybody. And through Moonshadow's findings, Declan comes to the conclusion that Roger is actually from the Fusion Dimension, because again, he read the script. That's when, shockingly, Riley speaks his mind, surprising Declan, saying after hearing Jack's words, he wants to be seen as a trustworthy member of the team, by everyone, including Declan and Yugioh. Speaking of, well, he's not looking for plot device, so you can guess what he's doing, being depressed in his room. And Moonshadow appears in front of his door. Yugioh is shocked that not only Moonshadow is out, but why he hasn't tried to save everyone. Again, thinking Declan's an asshole for not telling him to, which he is. But Mooney assures Yugioh if Declan was such a dick, he wouldn't work for him. And he wants to beat Duel Academy more than anyone else, and wouldn't abandon his comrades. Yugioh just has to trust that for now. He also conveys Riley's message that he wants Yugioh to win the Friendship Cup, not just to prove the strength of the Lancers, but by beating Jack, people here will actually listen to them. And maybe Yugioh can change this place for the better with his duel-taining. Yugioh is unsure, but says he'll try his best considering Jack spanked him last time. And before MS leaves, Yugioh has him deliver a letter to Plot Device that tells her he's okay, that he's gonna save them all, beat Jack, and tell these fucking Richies that you should duel to smile and have fun, not to pick your role in society. Man, if only I like these characters, that would be kinda cool and heartwarming. Well, it's the last round of the top 16, and since they're the only ones left, it's Shay versus Dennis. Dennis is happy to finish the duel they started in the underground, but Shay's got other ideas, saying at that last duel he did some sus moves. Moves he's seen before, ones you can't learn at Lid. And during the duel, Shay, instead of winning, attempts to expose Dennis, and using a card that makes Dennis have to show a card in his hand. That card is polymerization, and, well, everyone in the know realizes that Dennis is from Fusion. And since the jig is up, he uses it to fuse an ancient gear monster. Shoutouts to Crowler the Goat. Not only is Dennis with Duel Academy, he also helped Yuri kidnap Lulu, which triggers Shay, and so he uses his fucking orbital laser cannon, that's also a bird, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Shay wins. But Declan doesn't look too good to the High Council, seeing one of their enemies was able to infiltrate their ranks. And Declan shoots that accusation right back, referencing Roger. And we also see Dennis and Roger might not be the only Duel Academy agents here. After the duel, Shay tries to Pegasussy Dennis, but finds out Declan deactivated that function on his duel disc. Oh, also, during this duel, Yugioh talks to Yuto. Again, it doesn't matter. The next episode is a clip show. But like a real one. You gotta have one eventually in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know why they need a clip show, nothing fucking happened yet. And to make it even worse, they decide to put plot at the end of this clip show, so you kinda have to watch it. Because at the end, both the High Council and Roger's forces try to take Dennis, but he's grabbed by a mysterious person first. And seeing Dennis escaping, Roger thinks it's Duel Academy, and decides to escalate his plans. His plan, by the way, would you be shocked? He's nicknamed
Operation King's Gambit is now in effect.
This guy's favorite scent is his own farts. That's when a bunch of sector security jobbers raid the High Council, but they all seem different, more woman. Because yep, Roger has implemented mind control chips in them, they're all his bitches. And starts a Q. Okay, I wrote coup, but I guess Google Doc changed it to Q. They start a Q against the High Council, that's funnier. Roger reveals he was sent here originally by Duel Academy to invade the Synchro Dimension, but his plans kinda changed. Instead, he's defecting from Duel Academy and wants to rule New Domino City himself. So you might be wondering, why does he want to do that, you know? Why did he decide to defect from Duel Academy, who was seen as very powerful, and went to rule New Domino City all by himself? And now that he has the High Council, there's only one more person to take out, Jack Atlas. So despite overthrowing the government, Roger decides to continue this children's card game tournament, even though he can just send Sergei to beat Jack right now. Roger even knows Declan is Leo Akiba's son, and proposes an alliance, but Declan refuses. And even though he's winning right now, Roger tells his goons to find Dennis, cause if he goes back to Duel Academy, Leo will learn plot device and Selena are there, I guess, and is scared he could even send Yuri. No, not anime lesbians. Hope you're seeing what I mean by the cars, by the way, this happens a lot. And he might be too late, cause Dennis was taken by Sora, who's here to continue his mission to grab Selena, or so he says. And seeing Dennis is too injured, he sends him back to Duel Academy. And yeah, almost immediately, Leo learns of this boring-ass tournament going on in Synchro and decides to actually make something happen there, so he sends not only Barrett, but also Yuri and other members of the Obelisk Force to capture Plot Device and Selena. And the clip show ends with Roger telling Sergei about his next opponent, Plot Device, and when he beats her to bring her to him. So the next day the tourney continues, and last time, Shay and Dennis's duel kinda sorta destroyed the arena, cause, you know, their cards kinda do that. So now the duels will take place all over New Domino on special highways. And first up is Sergei versus Plot Device. And it seems despite being under control, Sergei is kinda creepy by himself, seeing that Plot Device is so filled with hope and confidence, and he gets off when destroying that in people. And using his weird-ass cards, he not only beats PD, but sends her flying into a building. Awesome. And hey, Plot Device did do something useful after seeing her get murked. For the first time, Tops and Commons are in agreement that Sergei's kinda fucked up. The most useful thing Plot Device has done this entire time. Lose and die. I fucking hate this character. And that's when Sam comes to get Yugioh for his next duel against Shinji. Yugioh does not care and wants to know about PD and why no one's helping her. This gives Shinji a chance to give another speech. That's his thing, he likes to give speeches. About that's how the Tops work, she's just another thing to them, used and thrown away, and that's why he wants to overthrow the government. And Yugioh's in the way of that, so he's gonna take him down too. You know, we didn't see much of Shinji before this, but this turn to being a super aggressive rebel striving for change kinda comes out of nowhere to me. I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny at times. It just kind of feels like parody with how hard he's going in on this. Like, you have to understand, this entire persona he has was never shown or hinted at before. This just happened when the tournament started. Anyway, Sector Security looked for Plot Device, but she's gone, because she was taken by Sora. Meanwhile, the duel begins, and Shinji basically gives a bunch of protagonist speeches to the crowd, riling them up so they can rebel. And it's not being helped by Yugioh, who's so worried about Plot Device his heart isn't in the duel. That's when Sora, on a roof nearby, shows him PD's helmet. Yugioh is shocked to see Sora is here, but knows that this means PD is safe. So it's time to duel-tane. And Yugioh says solving their troubles with violence accomplishes nothing and only brings more pain and sadness. That's right, he's giving the protagonist speeches now, Shinji. And to show this, Yugioh draws and uses the Tuning Magician card, the useless thing, and despite everyone in the crowd mocking him for using it, again, because it's a really good card if you actually know how to use it, Yugioh uses it right, and to complete his summoning method portfolio, he Synchro Summons. And using that Synchro Summon card, Yugioh beats Shinji, saying no card is useless, causing Jack to smile at Yugioh's words. Oh yeah, despite being so important to everything here, Jack doesn't do anything. He spends the whole arc sitting on a throne watching the duels, not saying anything, he's silent. This is meant to make him seem as this imposing figure looming over the duelists, but just makes you wonder why he's even here in the first place. After the duel, Yugioh tries to leave and find PD, but is stopped by Roger, personally this time, who uses Yugioh's win over Shinji to his advantage, saying Yugioh made a deal with him, which angers Shinji a lot, now thinking Yugioh is working with Roger, and it's not helped that the Tops are now cheering for Yugioh for beating Shinji and shutting him up. Even Sam's all mad at Yugioh now. Ugh. Yugioh kinda tries to deny this, but he's more worried about PD, and hearing Yugioh knows where she is, Roger lets him go. And remember, competitors aren't allowed to leave, so this just fuels the conspiracy that Yugioh is working with Roger. Jeez man, everyone in this whole show is so stupid. All it takes is for them to be blinded by anger or something, and all logic disappears. These people need emotional counseling. Yugioh does find Sora, but Sora knows he's being tailed, and the two talk in secret. Sora revealing he's actually here to help. Yugioh's last duel with him did convince him a bit about having fun and shit, and also finding out that Leo wants Plot Device's friend, so he wants to help them instead, cause friendship. But he's not friends with Selena and plans to use her as a bargaining chip, give her to Leo to save PD. Yugioh does not like this plan of course, but Sora says it's too late cause they're already sending the Obelisk Force here. And Roger, using a listening device, does not like the fact that Duel Academy is on the way, and orders Sora and Yugioh captured. But Yugioh saves Sora, telling him to go and make sure Plot Device is safe. Speaking of, she wakes up somewhere in the slums and runs into the orphan jobbers Crow takes care of. They recognize her as a duelist who ate shit earlier, probably the highest title she'll ever get, and she's surprised they know Yugioh. No time for that, they take her with them to the next duel in the cup. They need to see it, because it's Crow versus Shay. And even Crow's an idiot, because after seeing Yugioh's betrayal, he now thinks all the Lancers are baddies, and plans to take them all on and win this tournament for Shinji and ultimately beat Jack. During the duel though, through throwing their birds at each other, Crow and Shay kinda come to an understanding. Well, from dueling, and long story short, one of the orphan jobbers watching falls onto one of Crow's monsters, and Shay helps save them. So they're cool now, I guess. They're bros. Which is just in time, because Roger, during this, is trying to convince Yugioh to come to the dark side by saying, "Hey, relax, guy. I'm the good guy. Have you seen how the High Council runs this place? They suck." Which, he's not wrong. And he also tries to sow doubt about Sora being his friend since he's from Duel Academy. But seeing that through dueling, Crow and Shay can find common ground, Yugioh refuses Roger's offer, so he sends Yugioh to solitary. Eventually, Sora finds Plot Device, but not just him, Moonshadow finds both of them. And he may want revenge. Wait, why? Oh right, Sora Pegasus's brother, the Red Ninja, who's named Sunshadow. Who cares? They clear the beef after Plot Device convinces him Sora's on their side now. And to make sure she's safe, Moonshadow takes PD and the orphans to the trash pile, since the other Lancers are there. The most logical thing to happen in this show, putting Plot Device in the trash. Then the last quarterfinal match begins, Selena versus Yugioh. And she looks like Rin, so Yugioh is mostly distracted by Selena's looks and misplays constantly. What's more, since Selena is wanted by Duel Academy, Roger wants her too. So he decides to rig the track, switching the lanes to give her action cards. But Selena is Selena, and realizes someone's trying to help her win, which we've established there's nothing more she hates in this universe than help. So she ignores them all, which gives Yugioh the upper hand, allowing him to win. And through this duel, somehow Selena learns about dueling for fun, I guess. It doesn't matter that she knows this now. She's off to the trash pile, and she stops mattering. But the duel doesn't end with Yugioh going back to his room, because he starts to feel a presence. One he's felt before. Yep, Yuri and the rest of Duel Academy are here. Somewhere. But Yugioh notices Yuri and takes off after him. Roger is pissed Selena lost, but still sends his goons after her to bring her to him. And well, we saw Plot Device die last time. This is where Selena dies, because she instantly gets drugged and kidnapped. Yeah, I'll change her name in the next video. But that's when Riley comes to save her. Wow, she sucks so much he has to get saved by the fucking kid. Declan has decided he's done waiting around and had Riley duel all the jobber guards in the High Council room. And he did it pretty easily, and now he's here to rescue Selena, knowing Roger would try to take her after the duel. And Riley pops off, beating the 3-sector security officers like it was nothing, rescuing Selena. Pissed at this, Roger decides to take care of Declan since he's interfering, so he sends Sergei after him. And while all this is happening, he wants to make sure the people don't know what's going on, so he decides to bump up the semifinals till right now. The first match will be Crow versus Yugioh, but with a twist. Because originally Roger was gonna woman Yugioh by putting one of the chips he has in the sector security jobbers into his head, but now that he's dueling, there's no time for that, so they put it in his helmet instead. Alright, if things look or sound a bit different, it's because I took a break. I had to pee out all that alcohol I consumed before. I think I mentioned that. Worst part is I feel like I need more recapping this. Before the duel begins, Yugioh and Crow actually talk about the situation and come to an agreement to help each other beat Roger. Huh, I guess they can be smart when the plot calls for it. And one of the things Yugioh learned while captured was that Declan and the High Council are being held captive. And they both note the track passes by there, so they'll pretend to duel until that point, where Yugioh will jump off the track and go to rescue them. As the duel goes on, the plan is running fine as the two decide to duel-tane the crowd, instead of actually fighting. Until Roger activates the chip, causing Yugioh to duel Crow for realsies, causing Crow to think Yugioh betrayed him, and this was his plan all along now, thinking he's really working for Roger. However, the woman chip doesn't work exactly as planned. Yes, Yugioh's more aggressive now, but not under Roger's control, more like he's in some sort of ultra instinct state. And it's not just him, Yuri, Yugioh, and Yuto all begin acting almost like a different person, syncing up and dueling incredibly aggressively, like they're trying to kill their opponent. At this time too, not only does Plot Device's bracelet begin to glow, but Selena's as well, but not like usual, almost like it's warning them about something. Oh yeah, Moonshadow came up and met up with Selena and Riley, forgot about that. And they make it to some abandoned subway, but see that Riley and Selena are not doing too good after everything, almost out of energy. At the duel, Crow does notice something is wrong with Yugioh, but is mostly trying to survive. That's when we see Sora hanging on Melissa's helicopter, noticing something is definitely wrong with his friend. But then him and Roger both notice something else. Members of the Obelisk Force have finally arrived. Looks like Duel Academy is starting to invade. So Roger tells Sergei to forget Declan for now and go capture Plot Device and Selena, since that's what they're after. Sora also realizes... Wait, I'm not doing that anymore. Sora also realizes with them here, they need to snap Yugioh out of his trance, so he jumps on Crow's duel runner and points out the obelisks and that he needs to save Yugioh before leaving to find Selena, since he knows Plot Device is in the trash pile where she belongs. And Crow does manage to do it, hitting Yugioh so hard that, I guess, the chip is broken and all the U's go back to normal. Yugioh wonders what the hell happened, but no time as Crow immediately tells him about Obelisk Force, and Yugioh heads off to save Selena and plot device. Oh yeah, despite Crow's attack saving Yugioh, Yugioh still won as protagonist. Who cares about that? Because that's right, guys. Finally, after boring duels, stuff is actually happening. Looks like the Obelisk Force aren't your usual Slifer slackers, as they find Ninja Boy, Child, and Woman pretty fast. Since the other two aren't doing so hot, Ninja duels 3 of them himself, luring them away, but doesn't do great. Thankfully, Sora arrives to come help him out, but that leaves Riley and Selena alone. But luckily, Yugioh arrives to play hero. But that's when Barrett arrives, coming to take Selena back, so Yugioh has to duel him. Meanwhile, at the dump, Crow has been taken there after losing, trying to tell the guards about Obelisk, but they of course don't believe him. But Shay does. Hearing Duel Academy are here, he's done playing Garbage Man. The other Lancers learn the rest from Crow about Sora being here too, and seeing this as an opportunity, Shinji decides this is the time to start his rebellion, using the chaos to rally the commons and begin escaping. All the guys manage to escape, but in the chaos, plot device is missing, and Yugioh's not doing too good against Barrett. He's getting outplayed, and to make things worse, Roger discovers both him, Selena, and Duel Academy are in the same place, so he sends Sergei to take them all out and capture Selena. And that's when a bunch of people show up. Sora, but also Yugioh, and Yuri. Yugioh realizing right away he's his fusion version. And Yugioh immediately challenges Yuri to a duel, and they both summon their dragons, which means finally we see the last of the used dragons, Yuri's fusion one.
I fusion summon! Your dragon is a lame little lizard compared to mine, Yugioh! Arise, starving venom fusion dragon!
And then something strange happens, cause now, if you realize, all the U's are in the same place, so now all the summoning mechanic dragons are here, and everyone is freaked out when this happens.
Finally time! Finally time! To reunite! Reunite! And become whole just as before! Reunite! As one! Reunite! As one!
I'm resurrecting now!
I'm sure that's fine. That's not all though, some weird distortion appears in the sky. That's when Plot Device shows up, doing her thing of being very convenient, as her arriving teleports Yugioh and Yuri away, and Yugioh goes back to normal. Barrett barely acknowledges what just happened, only caring that now, since Plot Device is here, he'll take both girls back. But Yugioh won't let him. That's when Sergei arrives and joins in on the duel, taking the 2,000 point penalty. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, for some reason, the point penalty, which I thought was something Declan made a rule in his tournament, is just a thing that happens when you join in a duel already in progress. I guess you could argue it's because they added action duels with their duel discs or whatever. I'm not trying to think too much about it, I don't care. One thing I liked, yes you heard me say that right, is Sergei now uses Earthbound Immortal cards. He has a whole archetype around the Earthbounds, which again, made me I forgot I'm not doing that, sorry, it's a habit. Which made me wish they did this with other duelists from here. Having cards based on the archetypes from 5Ds, that'd be cool, and be thematic. And no, Jack and Crows don't count, they're just playing the same cards with some new support. Sergei's Earthbounds do manage to take out Barrett, but he's not going away empty-handed, being knocked towards Selena. He manages to teleport them both back to Duel Academy, which is awesome, one less headache. But Roger is upset Sergei let that happen, and says to grab Plot Device no matter what, and Yugioh's not going to let that happen, especially after losing Selena, so now he duels Sergei. But too bad for Yugioh, he was already wrecked from dueling Barrett, and despite changing his tactics, which kind of fries Sergei's woman chip, because he did something unexpected. Yugioh loses and Sergei manages to grab Plot Device, continuing her role as intended. So Yugioh wakes up with Moonshadow, Sora, and Riley telling him he got his ass kicked. But luckily, Silvio, Gong, and Chojiro find them, as they all compare notes. Yugioh telling them Roger took Plot Device because he wants to use her as a bargaining chip for Duel Academy, and they need to rescue her. But not everyone is ready to trust Sora, mainly Silvio, but Gong says if Yugioh says he's cool, then he's cool. And everyone splits up, some go to save PD, some go to save Declan and the High Council. One small problem though, it's kinda hard to get across town now, because, well, the commons are currently orchestrating a rebellion, tearing it all down. Eat the rich! Until I get rich, then, but I don't want that. Roger, seeing a literal rebellion is going on, is not concerned at all, because I guess he's that good. But has the tops confined to the stadium for now, so he enacts the last part of his plan. He's got the High Council, Plot Device, and there's only one more piece. Defeat Jack Atlas to crush any hope the people have. So during the riots, he has Jack duel Sergei. The excuse is because Yugioh was going to duel him, but he's MIA. Jack is also not too bothered, saying he'll end this pretty quickly, as Roger finally has Plot Device, letting her watch the duel that will make him ruler of New Domino. And I guess by extension the whole dimension. Sam is leading Jack to duel because I guess Sam forgave Yugioh at some point, maybe because of the 2D magician stuff, who cares. And he tells Jack why he gave Yugioh the card. Hearing this, Jack tells Sam to find Yugioh and tell him something. Jack then meets Sergei and is not intimidated at all by him as the duel begins. Also similar to the Iliasters, Sergei merges with his duel runner, which again, why couldn't they have stuff like this all throughout the arc? You know, something you can recognize if you've seen the original but don't need context to understand. It should be everywhere. It's clearly not that hard. You're doing it now all of a sudden. Anyway, you might think holding a duel in the middle of riots is not a good move, but as Yugioh and Gong make it through, they notice that all the commons have stopped rioting, engaged by Jack's duel. It seems despite what they say, Jack is still a damn good duelist and is a symbol of what they can accomplish, and everyone wants to see him win. Even the tops are enraptured. It's as if everyone has forgotten there's a rebellion happening. Especially when it seems Sergei has the upper hand, using a card to make Jack decide if he should destroy his own Red Dragon Archfiend retrain or lose the duel. Jack refuses to do so, but has a trap that saves him, and explains to Sergei he'd never sacrifice his dragon, cause it's his soul, his ace card, his partner. He doesn't use it, they work together to reach the pinnacle, the height of dueling. That's what a king does.
Archfiend and I have a single purpose, to battle with blazing glory for all to see till we shine like the sun! Master of Faster and his dragon, ruling together!
Which, okay, I'll give it to this arc. Jack's pretty fucking cool here. Like, yeah, he doesn't do much during it, but man, when he shows up, even I'm like, damn. Yeah, I want to be like him when I grow up. And I'm probably older than him at this point. Sergei calls all this king bullshit nonsense, and begins even outspeeding Jack. But Jack says as long as there's a chance, then he hasn't lost, and to assume that means you're a scrub. And he manages to overtake Sergei, grabbing an action card, which allows him to turn the duel around, causing everyone to start cheering for him. As the duel gets out of hand, Sergei even almost falls off the track, but Jack saves him, despite giving Sergei the lead in the turbo duel. With Jack saying this won't be decided by him dying, but by dueling, because that's how he does things. And all this aura Jack is emanating engages the duelist neurons in Sergei's brain, and Jack being so cool, I guess, causes it to short out, and Sergei is free from Roger's control, because he wants to duel Jack for realsies. Seeing this on display, even Gong with Yugioh says he's being moved by Jack's grit and determination, as both the tops and commons say he is their hope, he's the hero they all look up to. Roger is not happy about any of this, you know, his entire plan's falling apart, because Jack does it, beating Sergei and halting Roger's plans. Sergei starts falling again, but this time denies Jack's help, declaring he's free now, and I guess he dies, he never shows up again. But everyone watching is happy, cheering Jack's name. Again, almost forgetting this whole rebellion thing as Yugioh stares at the effect Jack had on everyone in astonishment. Now with his plan falling apart, Roger just announces to everyone, I'm the new leader, you have to listen to me, please. The plot device pushes him aside, saying he's actually insane, and tells everyone about Duel Academy and then addresses Yugioh directly, telling him to bring smiles to everyone and stop the fighting, as Roger cuts the feed. That's when Sam finds Yugioh, saying he's got a message from Jack, that his semi-final duel was ass, the one he did with Crow. Saying dueling like a crazy asshole is no way to duel, and if that's how he wants to do things, then he never wants to duel him. But if that's not what he believes, then show him, with a duel. Show everyone what Yugioh's style of dueling really is. Because if there's something Yugioh wants to do, then accomplish it no matter what, even if that means beating him. Meanwhile, back with Declan and the High Council, Declan realizes after over 30 fucking episodes, it's time for him to actually do something, and goes outside to confront the sector's security goons. Also arriving outside are Silvio, Chojiro, Riley, and Shay, who came to rescue him. Declan also calls out the High Council on being cowards who don't give a shit about anything other than maintaining the status quo, basically trying to use him to fight Roger for them, so they can continue on like normal. But, newsflash, this place sucks and needs change, and he has no intention of helping leaders who don't care about their people. I know I'm supposed to cheer Declan for telling these guys, but he's literally just stating the obvious. Back with Yugioh, he manages to get into the duel arena, which was blocked off, but he gets in thanks to the jobber orphans who sneak in there all the time. And that's when the rest of the Lancers show up after helping the High Council to help Yugioh get to Jack, as they all believe his duel with him is the only way to settle things. Which starts just in time as Crow tries to stop Shinji from just causing more pain, and they all turn on him, calling him a traitor. That's when Yugioh shows up on a broadcast across the city, declaring he's challenging Jack Atlas for the title of the Friendship Cup. He showed that dueling shouldn't be used to fight, but for fun, saying he'll be the new king of duel-taining. Roger tries to stop this, but thanks to Declan, the High Council regain their authority, rescinding all of Roger's orders, as we see Sora and Ninja Boy have arrived at Sector Security Headquarters. And finally, we've reached the end of this arc, folks. The last duel and finale of the Friendship Cup. Thank Glob. Yugioh versus Jack Atlas. But of course, Roger won't just let that happen, and sends the remaining Sector Security inside. Luckily, the Lancers all take care of them, doing their best Super Sentai impression. But with them taken out, no one is stopping the commons from getting inside the arena and killing the tops. I mean, they don't say that's what they're going to do, but what else are they going to do? Jack appears on a hologram telling all of them this duel is what will decide the fate of New Domino, and they need to shut up, sit down, and watch, because he won't let anyone interfere. Yugioh and Jack meet at the starting line, with Yugioh saying he's ready this time, and has changed since their first duel. But Jack says so far his duel-tating has been mediocre, and he's a bitch-ass motherfucker. And the duel finally begins, with Jack starting with the same moves he did when they first dueled. But Yugioh won't be faded, saying he will win with the style of dueling inherited from his father. And Yugioh does duel differently, using different moves than last time, and begins duel-tating, even using the Smile World card as he utilizes moves based on his dad. See, he's learned a lot, Jack.
You're entertaining no one! You haven't learned a thing since our last duel!
Oh. I guess not, as Jack easily breaks Yugioh's board. Frustrated, he's still doing the same shit. And Jack tells him straight up, he hasn't been impressed because, like he said, he's been dueling trying to act like his father. And he's not here to duel Yugioh's dad, he's here to duel Yugioh, to show him what Yugioh's style of duel-tating is instead of copying someone else. No, I don't think you understand, Jack. The only thing that gets this kid out of depression is having a flashback to the things his dad said. If he didn't have that, he probably would have killed himself by now. But maybe Roger will do that, sending more sector security to run Jack and Yugioh off the track. Jack is not pleased someone is trying to interrupt their duel, and he manages to not only take out all of the duel chasers, but even deals damage to Yugioh in one move. Yeah, Roger just keeps taking L's, and gets even angrier hearing that Sora and Moonshadow are in the building. And the two of them realize there's too many goons around, and if they want to rescue Plot Device, they need to stop their brainwashing on sector security. Back in the duel, Yugioh tries to figure out what his style of duel-tating is as Jack continues to call him a bitch-ass motherfucker. So Yugioh uses Tuning Magician again, and Jack says that's all he does, borrow strategies from other people. But Yugioh comes to a conclusion. His style is pendulums. What? By utilizing their broken and nuanced effects, he can duel-tane his own way. Using a bunch of combo, he uses pendulum effects to help survive Jack's onslaught. As Jack points out, using his pendulums is the most original thing he's ever done. I mean, considering he's the only one with access to pendulums, I call it cheating. Meanwhile, Sora and Ninja Gaiden are able to deactivate Roger's mind control, which is not a good thing, because now that they realize they're in the middle of a riot, they run away to protect and serve. And now no one is out there stopping the commons, who are not enraptured by the duel because Yugioh's kinda getting his ass kicked. So the Lancers head out to go do some crowd control themselves. But it might turn around, as Yugioh is not only going to use pendulums, but unlike what Jack says, utilize the cards and strategies he's learned from his friends, and synchro summons a new card that allows him to swing the duel his way. I can't believe I said that unironically, I can't believe I wrote that. And this finally gets the tops and commons to start paying attention to the duel, now that Yugioh isn't just getting washed. But Jack's not going to take it either, and he does something new, synchro summoning by double tuning. Using two tuners and his dragon, he makes a bigger dragon. And also, I don't get this part. The Crimson Dragon appears for some reason. What's that supposed to imply? Jack does have some kind of signer-related powers? Or is that just so nerds like me can go, I remember that? Jack destroys all of Yugioh's board, but again, Yugioh is going to fight back, and on his next turn, summons 5 monsters at once with pendulums, which is not that impressive for this time period, but everyone watching thinks so, and the two duelists now have the whole crowd enraptured. And yeah, I do not like the ending to this whole arc. Because Crow rides up alongside the duel with Shinji, saying them dueling has squashed the beef. I'm serious. As tops, commons, cops, criminals all ride along, just burying years of oppression, rage, and classism. They're all friends now. I mean, look, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm not shocked a children's card game being so hype can solve oppression. It's still stupid though. I guess if it wasn't hype enough, we get a cameo from another 5Ds character. It's Lazar. What was even the point of that? And Yugioh using his pendulums beats Jack, becoming the new duel king and showing everyone smiling and having fun is the way. What a load of shit. I don't care if it's Yu-Gi-Oh or an anime, you're telling me this society, built upon years of rich assholes looming over the pores, are just gonna hug it out after watching a card game tournament and act all nice now? Like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen, it's the thesis of the show, but it feels so forced and rushed. 2 episodes ago, the commons, like Shinji, were ready to kill people. Now they're just like, come on, bud, everyone gets mad. This doesn't come off as a triumphant victory for Yugioh proving his way of dueling is the right way. It just makes everyone seem like stupid, mindless drones who can't think and only follow what the best children's card game player says. I hate it. It only feels like it wraps up nicely like this, because this is episode 98, and episode 99 is the finale of this arc, so you needed to end this shit fast. I couldn't agree more, so let's finish this turd and go home. Jack is frustrated he lost, but says he'll keep getting stronger and beat Yugioh. And if this wasn't enough of a farce, the High Council show up and say, yeah, we fucked up, and disband and say, No more classism. We're all friends now. You richies have to breathe the same air as the poors. As they abolish tops and commons, saying there's no such thing now. We all live under one law, I guess. And they all just yuck it up. Again, acting like mindless zombies who do what they're told. Roger will win all of them too. They act like they got no brains. But it's not over yet, because Sora appears on the city monitors, telling everyone Roger has escaped with plot device. Because now that his plan is ruined, he's going to take her to Duel Academy to use her to get back in their good graces. So Yugioh and the other Lancers head to Sector Security Headquarters. Plot device at least has some backbone here, mocking Roger for running like a bitch. But he says it's not running, it's a strategic withdrawal, and it's all part of the plan, it's all part of Keikaku. Relax. And Declan wonders about that, showing he's the first to arrive, with Riley and Moonshadow behind him. Roger runs into the room and Declan makes it in alone, and Roger is not going to run this time as he begins a duel with Declan, saying taking back Leo Akiba's son as well as PD would get him some bonus points. Leading into the final episode of the arc, episode 99, everyone manages to gather at the security headquarters, where they try to get into the room to help Declan. But he doesn't need it, as Declan easily manages to OTK Roger. Oh, well, that was easy. But weirdly, Roger, well, he's immortal, as he appears again, totally fine, with life points, saying no matter what Declan does, he'll never lose. After beating him a couple more times, though, Declan notices the intrusion penalty triggers every time Roger comes back. As Roger says, he will simply keep coming back until Declan is too exhausted to duel. Outside the room, a beaten Sora shows up and is able to unlock the door, because, I don't know, it's Duel Academy tech, I guess. And the other Lancers make it inside and see Declan's predicament. But Declan read the script, and is streets ahead, and creates an infinite loop combo that allows him to deal 2,000 points of damage to Roger infinitely, which will take him out because of the intrusion penalty, saying he can keep going all day as long as Roger can't do anything about it. We then see the real Roger, who was using holograms, I guess, of himself while dueling from another room, with plot device. Roger is pissed Declan outplayed him and decides to reveal he is Leo Akiba's son, the leader of Duel Academy. Oh yeah, other than Shay and Selena, I guess, no one knew that the leader of Duel Academy is Leo Akiba and it's Declan's dad. Thankfully, the characters are smart here, saying that they know Roger is trying to divide them, as Yugioh says he trusts Declan, because at least he looks out for his friends in his own way. So Roger books it with PD again, as they all give chase. Luckily, Jack and Crow came too and managed to separate PD and Roger, causing Yugioh to catch her, and the two are finally reunited. And remember when I said this arc was useless? Remember the goal was to get allies and keep PD and Selena safe. F's to Selena, and I guess they have Jack and Crow helping out. But the main goal of Yugioh, the main character, was to save PD. So I wish I could convey to you my rage when I saw what happens next. Because Roger says he's not going out like this, and reveals to all of them they're standing on a big dimensional transporter. I think the plan was that he was going to use it to teleport New Domino away when Duel Academy invaded, sure. So he says he's going to scatter all of them across dimensions, activating it. But there's too much power, and a bolt of electricity sends Roger tumbling into a portal. And that's the end of him, again, assuming he's just dead, he never shows up again. And then, the part that pissed me off.
It's rebooting again! Zuzu! Zuzu!
Yep. After all that bullshit, the boring tournament, the shit writing, the boring duels, by the end of it, you feel no satisfaction because nothing was accomplished. Oh, they united the Synchro Dimension. I didn't like that either. I'm talking about the main reason why we're here. The goal of the person we're following, Yugioh, didn't matter. None of this mattered. None of these characters besides Jack and Crow come back. None of them are useful again or matter in any way. This arc sucks. I hate it. That's why I said you could skip it, because stuff from here is barely brought up. Anyway, it finally ends with Yugioh also being sucked up, as Gong, Silvio, and Shay grab him, but it ends with all of them getting teleported away, even behind Declan, Riley, Ninja, Sora, Jack, and Crow. And the arc ends with Yugioh's group waking up, wondering where they are, and Shay knows all too well where they are.
We're not in New Domino City.
How do you know?
Because this is my home, or what's left of it. We're in the Xyz dimension.
I refuse to give any closing thoughts on this. It was boring, and I hated it. So now the question is, does it get any better? I mean, technically, I don't know how you can do worse. Join me next time where we see if this can get better, as we see more cameos from past characters in the Xyz dimension. I'm feeling the flow alright, it's flowing out of my ass. I need another drink.
The people of Heartland lived in peace. Till the day Duel Academy struck. We lost family, friends, everything. But I'll keep fighting and make Duel Academy pay for what they did to my home.